Hi Ariana, hi Gary. I'm coming to you from my dental office in North Bergen, New Jersey. And my question is in regards to sleep. How do you develop rituals for your sleep and bedtime when your life is unpredictable as a business person and a parent, and you have a lot of obligations and a lot of people contacting you at all hours of the day? Thank you.
Okay, well, first of all, you know what they tell you on airplanes? Put your own oxygen mask first.
Yes.
That is key. You know, they don't say that because they're nice. They say that because you won't be much use to anybody else if you're not breathing. So you're not going to be much use to your children, your patients, anybody, if you let yourself burn out. So nobody should be able to reach you at all hours unless you have what I have, which is a dumb phone that has no data for my daughters and for our overnight news editor if there is a crisis. But my regular phone that a lot of people have, that has all my life and my work on, when I'm asleep, it is asleep and it is outside my bedroom.
Same thing for me. I have it by my bed, but it is completely on silent. It never wakes me up. I never know. I'm out. Like, I totally agree with that. And I think it's binary. Like, to answer your question, doctor, either you are doing this or you're not. There's no half pregnant in these strategies. You know, so for me with health, 2 years ago, I went all in. And so now I found the hour that I didn't think existed. And excuse me, it's 2 hours because you gotta get ready, shower after. Like, it's just binary. Like, if you want to, if you believe it, if you read this book, if you believe this thesis, if you Google, if you watch her interviews, if you believe in this, if this has been bubbling up. Now, if you have a job where you have to get paged and come in, firefighter, doctor, like, that's just reality.
But it doesn't happen every night.
No, it doesn't.
You know, even if you're a doctor.
How many times, you know, I wanted to ask you, how many times has the news editor,
Never.
It hasn't happened yet?
No.
No
It
major
hasn't
thing has happened yet.
That
while you were
woke me
sleeping.
up, and touch wood, I haven't heard from my daughters either. It's just a security blanket.
Yes.
It means
Makes you
know,
feel better?
it makes you feel better. but the point is that it is absolutely critical to realize that we've been living under a collective delusion. I have to say that. You know, we are now where we were in the 60s regarding smoking. The science was in, but people were still glamorizing smoking. And there were doctors. I saw an ad the other day from the 60s of a doctor in a white coat saying, I smoke menthols because they refresh my throat.
Yeah,
So really, that's where we are with sleep deprivation.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, over the last year and a half, probably not often enough, and probably why I had so much passion to do this with you, so I have something to point to, I've sprinkled in a lot more of hustle, but that means what you're doing when you're awake, not don't sleep. Don't watch 4 hours of House of Cards if you want to build a business, right? Don't play video games for 6 hours, but get your sleep in. And this, I've been thinking about more evergreen pieces of content that I can point to when people are like, Gary, you don't sleep. I'm like, no, watch this episode with Ariana. Like, so that had a lot to do. That was exciting
I love
for
that
me.
because people are looking to you.
And by the way, I sell hard work.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that it's clarified as in, I'm more worried about playing Candy Crush for an hour when you want to build a big business versus taking that away from your sleep.
Absolutely. You know, hard work is not the problem. I'm not talking about slowing down. Just look at what I'm getting done.
Right.
I'm talking about being your most efficient, best self when you show up for work.
How much is that young man sleeping?
Tell him.
I sleep.
So
8
Dan is
hours
my
a night,
fabulous chief of
almost
staff.
Every single night.
8 hours.
8 hours, and we work hard. You know, we get it done. We hustle like crazy.
Yeah.
But when I'm out, I'm out.
And before you, how long have you guys been together?
About a year and a half.
And so before that?
Before that, I honestly thought that the hustle meant giving up wellness and sleep.
Right. And so
I was
what were you
convinced
doing?
that because
Yeah.
I had drunk
Yeah.
that Kool-Aid.
And so-
It's a collective delusion.
And
is what
so
it says.
what were you spending sleeping?
Oh, maybe 5 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe. Because I wanted to be, I wanted to brag about it. I wanted
Yeah.
to say, hey folks,
Yeah.
I don't sleep and therefore
Yeah.
I am working my heart.
Yeah, it's funny. Snapchat has been interesting. Like to me, I guess not last night, but like, man, when I don't get, 6 to me is the number I'm really like, if I'm under 6, I'm very concerned. And usually I'm under 6, and you guys know this if you're following me on Snapchat, is when I travel, but then I sleep on the flight, you know, to make sure I close that gap.
Right, and then, you know, when you check into a hotel, especially after a flight, I highly recommend a hot bath, a hot shower. There's something wonderful about water, like washing away the day.
Big fan.
And if you get into
You know,
bed,
right? Remember those 10 seconds you were an assistant.
Oh, yeah.
When I was like shower in before I go. I'm a big fan.
I was like, we need to get him a shower. And
Yeah.
they're like, no, he's
I buy hotel rooms from the night before because there's no early check-in
Yes,
just to take a shower.
absolutely essential. There's no better investment than investment in yourself. Don't buy a bag, buy a hotel room. How are you going to show up the next morning? That's the key.